Hello, everybody, and welcome to race number 12 of Season 5 NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series, as we are one race away from All-Star Weekend. What's up? Time to get this going. I am Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series. Here to welcome you to the Subway Fresh Fit 500 at Phoenix International Raceway. We're at the new Phoenix, the newly reconfigured Phoenix. So this should be an interesting race. And joining me for co-commentary, I just, before we recorded this race, co-commentated his Mobile One Cup race at Talladega, which was a lot of fun. And he's back here for the first time in a while here in the Walmart Cup Series for co-commentary. Please welcome Mr. NNSCRA himself, Seth Cole. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Perfect.
But no, it's great to be back here commentating Walmart Wreckers. Walmart Wreckers. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, man. Walmart Cup Series. Oh, man, that was a big fail.
Hey,
But,
we've failed many times in the past.
yes, we have. Yes, we have. But anyway, it's great to be back in the booth here for this series. It's been a while since I actually got to co-commentate one of these races, and I remember that race was actually really, really amazing. And looking forward to this one here. I mean, it's Phoenix. It's more of a technical track than it is about speed, and so we're gonna have to see who the most technical driver is out there.
Indeed. And as we real quick take a look at how the points come into this race, after picking up his second win of the season last week at Darlington, Dorian Facepuncher has taken back the points lead. And in second, 6 points behind, is Danny Wells. David Rivera, who is in third in points, 16 behind. And then we have a tie for fourth with Chase Oliver and the recently kicked out Dylan Schwanberg. But after this race, Schwanberg will definitely free fall in points. Charles Sanford in sixth, and then the rest of the top 10 is Jesse Setti, Chris Washer, last season's champion Jekko Knight, and PJ Williams. And then the rest of the top 20 is Charles Jackson, Austin Weiner, Dylan Young, Seth Cole, Michael Norman, Jessica Sheldon, Joshua Balkin, Alex Hawkins, our pole sitter Kendall Maynor, and Sonny Hammond. And if the chase were to start right now, Dylan Young and Seth Cole would be the two wildcard drivers due to having a win this season. But still, after this race, we got 14 left until the chase begins. But after this, we got All-Star Weekend, and that's going to be exciting when we head to Charlotte. As you see, your starting grid popped up on the top of your screen. Let's get this half-pace lap started, shall we? And take a look at the top 10 starting drivers. Kendall Maynor on the pole. Second's going to be Stephen Pollard the third. Third, Dylan Young. Fourth, David Rivera. Fifth is points leader Dorian Facepuncher. Sixth, Seth Cole. Seventh, Joshua Balkin. Eighth, Austin Weiner. Ninth, PJ Williams. And 10th, Preston Plord. As the pace car is getting ready to pull into pit road here. And now we're getting ready to go racing here at the mile track of Phoenix. And boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys and girls. And already some beating and banging going on. Whoa, my goodness, whoa!
There is no traction in those turns for these guys, and that's probably due to the fact that we're in Phoenix. The sun beats down on this track, and it just makes it super slippery for these fresh sticker tires.
Indeed. And already Dorian Facepuncher going to lead lap number 1 here after that crazy star whiff between Maynor and Pollard.
Yeah, Dorian Facepuncher getting out of Dodge. He saw
I saw Austin Weiner get in the car. I saw Austin Weiner get the wall. Oh, and a huge wreck already.
Oh, boy, they're just all piling in.
Yeah, Trent Dunham got a piece of it. Brandon Nichols, who has just been not having the season he was hoping for after winning the Daytona 500. Let me try to find others that could have been involved. Oh, Jesse Setti got a piece of it. That's 3 out of 4 Penske cars. Chase Oliver, Cody Lamas, Jessica Sheldon. Looked like she might have gotten a piece of it, maybe. I see the 18 of Daniel Day got a piece of it. And a piece on William Duncan's machine. Oh, and I think, does McLeod have damage? I don't know if McLeod has damage or not, but
Might have a little bit.
yeah. Some cars are going into pit road, some are not. Who's that right there? Oh, that's Dylan Young. He's coming
Dylan
in.
Young, Joshua Collard was coming in.
Yeah. But man, oh man, a huge wreck on lap 2 that looked like it started with, looked like Austin Weiner got turned up into the outside wall from what it looked like from our vantage point, but we'll find out when we take a look at the replay. But before we get to that, I was going to ask Seth, who is an interesting pick to potentially come away with the victory here?
Well, I was actually gonna go with this. This is the headquarters of the Tweenix Racing drivers, and before he may have gotten a tiny piece of that incident, I was gonna go with James McLeod being one of those Tweenix drivers. But now I'm not really sure if McLeod is gonna be up to speed or not. Right now, I would have to probably then go with another driver that I know is pretty good here at this track. He lost some track position after that wreck, but I don't think he really got involved, and that's Trent Dunham. He's pretty good here at Phoenix, and we might see that one car up here at the front if they're able to utilize maybe some pit strategy here in the progression of this race.
Yep, and my pick, I might go right there with that 45 of PJ Williams. I think since he got into a new ride for Stuart Haas in the 45, he's been doing really, really well for himself. He comes into the race, if I could take a look at the points again, 10th in the points, so he's been doing pretty good for himself with a new ride, but who knows. But let's go ahead and take a look at a replay of what brought the caution out for the first time today here at Phoenix. Well, it looks like it's going to start with this battle between Austin Weiner and Stephen Pollard III, and it looks like they just both just like looked like Pollard went down and Weiner went up, and then the same thing happened with Jesse Setti and Trent Dunham, and then there you see cars just piling in. I see Cole Daly, Charles Sanford got a little piece of it, Jesse Setti, Jessica Shelton, Cody Lamas, Brandon Nichols, Danny
There was another
Wells.
car that slid further up, got clipped by I think it was by the 12 car.
Yeah, it might have been
Couldn't tell who
Chase
it was.
Oliver. Let's see. Oh, I think it was Chase Oliver who comes in 4th in the points. Oh, he gets Jesse Setti, and then old Jackie Tang, Brandon Gonzalez were both in there. And there you see Alex Hawkins actually got a piece of it as well.
Yeah, and the car I saw was I think William Duncan in the 99. He got clipped from behind, did like a 360, and then continued on.
Yeah, and he's got Rue McIntyre behind him, and he's right next to him. The 22 and the 1 pretty much did the same thing as the 12 and the 93, and yeah, he just sideswipes the 12 and goes around. And McLeod,
Yeah, McLeod got through it.
yeah, let's take a look at this. I think we should probably go on board with him in
Wow, he
just a
did a
minute.
nice job of avoiding all of that.
Yeah, let's take a look at this for sure. Yeah, there you see both incidents happen right next to him and up in the front. A little
Oh,
piece of the...
tiny piece with the right front.
Yeah. But still, that's going to be a very fun onboard. Let's take a look at the onboard of the 51 of James McLeod. Onboard with James McLeod. While he did get a piece of it on the right front, he still managed to get through.
I don't know how extensive the damage would be on that car. I mean, he was up to full speed when he hit him, but I mean, sometimes those left and right front quarter panels can be pretty temperamental, especially at a track that relies so much on aerodynamics as Phoenix.
Indeed. Well, after that first caution, 2 cars retired out of the race out of all that, and they were Cody Lamas and Austin Weiner. Man, Austin Weiner has just been having a tough couple of races. He was top 5 in points, and he came in 12th. Now he's probably got a free fall even more, but yeah, tough break for him. But Dorian Facepuncher is the leader. 2nd is David Rivera. 3rd, PJ Williams. 4th, Joshua Balkin. And 5th, Sonny Hammond. So 3 out of the Roush cars in the top 5. 6th, Seth Cole. 7th, Anthony McCrory. 8th, Kendall Maynard. 9th, Mitchell Riggs. 10th is Charles Jackson. And then the rest of the top 20, you got Dylan Thoreau, Preston Plord, Michael Norman, Jecko Knight, Sean Galligan, Rue McIntyre, James McLeod, Alex Hawkins, Jackie Tang, and Kyle Matthews.
And I thought I saw when you were going through that running order there, I could be wrong, but it looked like Charles Sanford had a little buckle on the hood of his BB&T Chevrolet. And I don't know if that's
Yeah,
going to
he
affect
does.
him. I don't know if that's going to affect him here on this restart or not.
It might, but anyways, back up at the front. Green flag back out with about 41 laps to go.
Dorian Facepuncher got himself a nice restart off of David Rivera, and you see him actually go up a little bit higher off the corner than Rivera did. That was so he could get a good run off of two.
Yeah, and here comes PJ Williams down low for second. Yeah, PJ Williams, you can tell he's definitely trying to regain some of that swagger he had from season 3 when he won a race or two and just nearly won the championship. And now is in that 4-car championship battle with PJ Williams, Austin Weiner, who ended up with the championship, and I believe Jessica Sheldon and Youssef. And it looks
Yep,
like the caution's back out.
I think you're right.
Oh, Jessica Sheldon involved, ironically. It looked like it was just her.
Yeah. Oh, wait, there's a little damage. Well, I don't know if the 21
He was in that first
was he
wreck.
in the first one? Okay.
Yeah, he was. So, looked like it was
Oh,
just...
yeah. There was just a solo car spin. It looks like there in turn 3.
Yeah. And some cars are going to stay out and pit. And PJ Williams electing to stay out. Same with Jecko Knight, Jackie Tang, Kyle Matthews. Interesting strategy
Not
on these guys.
Well, not bad strategy. I mean, PJ Williams tried that move over in turns 3 and 4 on Dorian Facepuncher. Couldn't quite get it done. Figures instead of trying to waste his equipment getting around the 15, use this caution, stay out, and take the lead that way.
Yeah. But who knows if that's going to work well for him in the long run, but we'll find out later. But let's take a look and see what happened to bring the caution out for the second time today here at Phoenix. Okay, we are probably going to have a new rivalry brewing here in the Walmart Cup Series. Watch this. This doesn't bring the caution out, but William Duncan and Jessica Sheldon make contact off of 2, and that gets more damage on both cars. But that doesn't bring the caution out. And then watch what happens when we go into turns 3 and 4 here.
I don't know if Duncan felt that Shelton came up on him or something, but he obviously was not happy with that, and he shows his disapproval of that move. And boy, poor 22 car of
Jesse
Seti.
Seti, yeah.
Yeah, Jesse Seti just nowhere to go. Gets a little piece of that, but this is a track that is known for its tempers to be able to flare sometimes. I think we just saw one.
Indeed. So, and ironically, both cars have 9s in them, so that makes it even weirder from that standpoint. But yeah, I definitely think those two are not going to be happy with each other after this race.
William Duncan versus Jessica Shelton on pay-per-view for just $9.99. Sorry, I had to do it. It was too perfect.
Brilliant. That was brilliant.
Oh, man.
God. But yeah, that was what brought the caution out. But as there you see, most of the guys who were up at the front came and pitted. But PJ Williams decided to roll the dice and stay out to get some bonus points for leading laps. But let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Phoenix. Well, after that last caution, Jessica Sheldon has officially retired out of the race, so tough break for her. But PJ Williams is going to be the leader, second Jecko Knight, third Jackie Tang, fourth Kyle Matthews, fifth is Charles Sanford, even with a buckle on his hood. Sixth, Dylan Young.
Has not slowed him down.
I guess not. But sixth is Dylan Young, seventh Joshua Collard, eighth is Matt McIntyre, ninth Brandon Gonzalez, 10th is Ian Dutta. Then you've got Daniel Day, Chris Thomas, Joshua Michaels, Cole Daly, Jesse Seti, Stephen Pollard III, William Duncan, Brandon Nichols. Those guys stayed out. Everybody else pitted, and there you have Dorian Facepuncher, David Rivera, Seth Cole, Sonny Hammond, Mitchell Riggs, Preston Plord, Kendall Maynard, just to name a few, as we head back up here to the front. So
Yeah,
this is going to be an interesting restart.
Yeah, especially to see what happens with, Dorian Facepuncher, David Rivera, Seth Cole. They all started up at the front. They've been up at the front this whole race. Now they're going to be starting back in traffic because of some pit strategy going on here. It'll be interesting to see how quickly they work their way through traffic.
Yeah, if we don't get another caution here. Because
Yeah,
so
and I'm
far
almost
this race has turned into almost a wreck fest almost
yeah,
right now.
yeah, and that's why I think PJ Williams maybe decided to stay out. He's banking on the fact that we're probably going to have another yellow flag. Didn't want to run the risk of what Dorian Facepuncher and others were doing with giving up that track position to get fresh rubber.
Yeah, and here comes Jackie Tang with a power move underneath Jekko Knight for second.
Yeah, we saw his teammate Stephen Paul III start up here at the front. Of course, he got into an incident early on, but Jackie Tang, representing here for BK Racing, running really well here, and a great run there for that rookie.
Yeah, and whoa, Tang got a little wobbly there, but I think it's because he decided to go low. Or no, he's
Oh, he's
coming
coming
into
to
pit
pit.
road. Oh man. Same with his teammate Brandon Gonzalez.
So
He's another
apparently, these
rookie.
guys are that quick caution they were hoping for. It did not happen.
No, it didn't, and we're still green. Meanwhile, this is the battle for second now with Jekko Knight and a guy who's been struggling so badly this season, Kyle Matthews, who comes in 42nd in the point standings. Not what you would expect out of that
Oh, oh, oh,
24 car.
caution, I think.
Let's see.
Red lights were on pit road.
Yeah, indeed, caution's out. Oh, it looked like another accident off of turn two again.
Yep, that's
McLeod's
been the
back
trouble
here.
spot.
Oh, Stephen Pollard III was involved in this again. Maybe Chase Oliver, that still is damage from the first wreck. Could
I
have
think
been another
maybe
solo car still.
McLeod had some rear end damage on his car.
Yeah, from what it looked like, yes. And now it looks like PJ and Kyle and Jekko, they may be coming into pit road here.
Yeah, they don't really have a choice now. They're gonna have to come in because I don't think they could make it another green flag run.
And Dylan Young gonna stay out, and he hasn't pitted yet either.
Yeah, that's an interesting strategy. I mean, Dylan Young, I know, pitted under the first caution flag, but he ended up pitting back with Joshua Collard. Collard's coming in this lap. Dylan Young is not, so that's a completely different strategy that the two is playing out now.
Yeah, and actually right now, not only he and Mitchell Riggs stay out, but some of the cars who pit under the last caution, like Face Puncher, Seth Cole, Dylan Thoreau, all stayed out as well, but pretty much most of the others, or almost the rest of the field, when pitted, even David Rivera and Oldie, about got in his teammate Ian Dutta. Oh, and I see damage on Daniel Day. He could have been a part of this caution.
Yeah, he very well could have. I mean, this looked like it might have happened closer to the rear of the field, but it may have actually been more than one incident.
Could have, but speaking of that, let's take a look at the replay of what brought the caution out for the third time today here at Phoenix. Well, it's going to start here with this battle between James McLeod and Trent Dunham as they lean on each other and get into each other. And McLeod comes up in front of Trent and then up into Stephen Pollard III, and then both cars hit the outside wall. And then Danny Wells right there gets into
Yep,
Stephen Pollard III and is going
just
to go
nowhere really
around.
for him to go.
Yeah, and I can pretty much say Danny Wells' day is pretty much done as his car pretty much comes to a complete stop. Same with Pollard. So,
Timely caution there for those two teammates out of BK Racing, Brandon Gonzalez, Jackie Tang. I don't know, but they might have actually crossed the stripe before that caution came out, so I think they could still be on the lead lap.
they might. We'll find out here in just a moment as we are now getting ready to go back to the restart here at Phoenix. Well, after that last caution, two cars retired out of the race, and they were Danny Wells and Stephen Pollard III. Dylan Young is going to be the leader. Second, Mitchell Riggs. Third, Dorian Facepuncher. Fourth is going to be Seth Cole. Fifth, Dylan Thoreau. Sixth, Sonny Hammond. Seventh, Anthony McCurry. Eighth, Chris Washer. Ninth, Alex Hawkins. And 10th, James Qualls. And the rest of the top 20 is Michael Norman, Sean Galligan, Charles Jackson, Joshua Balkin, Trent Dunham, Brandon Gonzalez, Charles Sanford, Matt McIntyre, Joshua Collard, and Chris Thomas. And then you've got PJ Williams, Daniel Day, Ian Dutta, Cole Daly, David Rivera, Jekko Knight, Preston Plord, Kyle Matthews, Joshua Michaels, Jackie Tang, and then Kendall Maynard, Rue McIntyre, William Duncan, Chase Oliver, Brandon Nichols, James McLeod, and Jesse Setti. So Everybody except for Austin Weiner from Penske is still running, but Dylan Young up at the front, and the other two that are still out there are not going to be up to speed because they've been involved in so many incidents today. But green flag back out with about, looks like 29 laps left.
It's going to be interesting to see here. Dylan Young and Riggs behind him. Whoa, Riggs getting close to that left rear. But the two of them, I think, are on the same pit sequence. So I don't know if a long green flag run would be beneficial to them based on the number of laps we have left, or if they're hoping for another caution flag so they'll be able to pit under yellow.
Indeed, and Mitchell Riggs goes for the lead and gets it, but now here comes Dylan Young once again back for
Yeah,
the
and it's going
top
to be
spot.
interesting to see here because it looks like the high side gets a little bit of a run off of two. We saw Mitchell Riggs be able to draw even there coming off of the corner, but the inside line and the entry of both 1 and 3 is definitely the line that gets a little bit more grip and a much better run.
That's from the looks of it. And Riggs, he's actually using the high line in all turns to keep himself to the lead. Looks
Yeah,
like
and
right now the high line seems to be kicking in a little bit more right now.
yeah, exactly. It's the entry on the inside line in 1 and 3 is best, but off of 2 and 4, if you can be on the high side and still keep your foot in the throttle in just the right spot, then you have a chance of holding on to the lead. As Dylan Young actually got Mitchell Riggs really loose there in the middle of 3 and 4.
Indeed, he did. And then back here, stinking pace car. Back here, battle for third between Dorian Facepuncher and Seth Cole. Facepuncher in the Chromags DRI Toyota, and Seth Cole in his old school Hershey's Chevy.
Yeah, and you notice that Face Puncher's not really forcing the issue of getting up there battling with Dylan Young and Mitchell Riggs for the lead right now. I think that this is more of a day that Dorian Facepuncher thought, let's just be consistent out there, not try and use up our equipment. I mean, he knows that 2 and that 31 are going to have to come to pit road at some point, and he'll be able to stay out and take the lead away. So why get up here, take a chance of wrecking your car when you know the lead's going to basically at some point be handed over to you? Maybe right now because the caution's out again.
Yeah, it is. Oh, and it looked like a backstretch accident. Kendall Maynard's in it.
That's the pole sitter in it.
Brandon Gonzalez, I think, might have gotten involved again. Could have been another solo car accident from the looks of it. And right there, Kendall Maynard immediately had to go to the garage, so his
Well, that
day's
must have been a
over.
hard hit in that inside wall separating pit road from the racetrack. Then if Kendall Maynard is so quickly out.
Yeah, and a lot of cars are looking to go to pit road except for Facepuncher. He's going to stay out again. Same with Sonny Hammond and Chris Washer and company.
Yeah, interesting there. Dorian Facepuncher kind of breaking off from the tradition he and those other drivers behind him, like Seth Cole and Dylan Theroux and all of them actually had been having. And he's deciding to stay out. Apparently now's the time for track position, but keep in mind, I think that 15's going to have to pit at least one more time before this race is over.
That's what I'm thinking too. But anyways, let's take a look at the replay of what brought the caution out for the, goodness gracious, fourth time here at Phoenix. Well, we were wrong. It was actually Brandon Gonzalez that brought this caution out. Oh, he got turned by Charles Sanford and into Chris Thomas. And there you see those cars get involved. P.J. Williams got a slight piece of it. And then here
Yeah.
comes Kendall Maynard into the picture right there, right into the
Oh,
right rear of Brandon Gonzalez.
yeah, and PJ Williams had been up at the front. He led quite a bit of this race back in traffic after pit strategy. Almost ended up being his downfall there. Close call for him. And I don't know if the 66 of Ian Dutt, I don't know why he was way up the racetrack there.
I don't know either. That's a weird thing there, but man, there was some hard hits taken in that wreck, and whoa, almost a wreck with James Qualls and Michael Norman right there.
Yeah, you can't really touch your opponent in the left rear in the corner, or else that could be a big problem.
Yeah, that would have been, but luckily we got away with just a couple cars spinning out and getting the wall, but still some hard hits. But let's go ahead and take you back to the restart once again here at Phoenix as we will be past the halfway point. Well, after that last caution, only one car ended up retiring out of the race out of that, and that was Kendall Maynard for what it looked like. But Dorian Facepuncher is going to be the leader with 20 to go. Second's going to be Sonny Hammond. Third, Chris Washer. Fourth, James Qualls is the highest of the rookies right now. Fifth is Matt McIntyre. Sixth, Joshua Collard. Seventh, Daniel Day. Eighth, Charles Sanford, somehow in the top 10 with a buckled up hood and involved in 2 incidents, is up there. PJ Williams up to ninth, and 10th is Chris Thomas, who was in that last wreck. So that's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen on this restart, considering what has happened in the last couple cautions.
Yeah, and it's kind of been a pretty good day for Dorian Pace Puncher as a points leader, too, because Danny Wells is out of the race. David Rivera is just now starting to make his way back up into the top 10. Chase Oliver's been involved in a couple of incidents, and Charles Sanford, I know that he's up there inside the top 10 right now, but he did get a tiny piece of that incident on that last caution. I don't know if that may cause him to be a little bit slow on this restart or not. We'll find out as Pace Puncher gets us back underway.
Yeah, and that's actually keep an eye on the 07 here for a bit here. As David Rivera goes underneath for the 10th spot underneath Chris Thomas. It doesn't look like Sanford's completely slow. Doesn't
he's
look
still
like
up speed.
Yeah, it looks like he is because he's still keeping pace.
Nice run there for Daniel Day in the 18 too. I mean, coming in replacing Dylan Schwallenberg, he had a fairly decent run at Infineon, and now running up here in the top 10 in that 18.
And whoa, contact David Rivera, PJ Williams, and they get off each other. Wow, that was a close call. And a new leader, Sonny Hammond in the 17 is going to take the top spot now. And here comes Chris Washer underneath for second.
Yeah, Chris Washer, James Qualls now coming up here as well. They're starting to kind of realize time's winding down. It's time to start making moves, put yourself in a good position here, depending on how this race may end, to win this race. And what happened to Trent?
He might have gotten the wall and is slow. But I don't think a caution's out. Let's see.
I don't think there is.
We're still green somehow. Yeah, we are. Oh man, 3 wide with Dylan Young, Mitchell Riggs, Dylan Thoreau.
That's not going to end well. Well, Dylan Young, wise veteran move, backed out of that.
Indeed. And as we continue to look around, back up at the front, Dorian Face Puncher retakes the lead.
He's got a teammate right back there, too, in James Qualls, so we could have a couple of MWR teammates going at it here for this win, but don't count out that 5 of Chris Washer either. I mean, he hasn't gotten up here to the front just yet, but he's right there within striking distance.
Yeah, and now that you brought up MWR, I don't know where Charles Jackson is, but if anybody can remember, I believe Las Vegas earlier this season when Face Puncher won, you had Jackson second, Qualls third. So that was the first time ever in this series history that all members of a team finished in first, second, third, and so on and so forth. So that was history making back at that time. We could see something like that again, but let's take a look and find where Charles Jackson is. Oh, he's way back here in 30th.
Yeah, he's not made up any ground. He got some damage, I think, in that first incident. And is Qualls going to be able to make this 3-wide move? Oh, nope, backed out of it.
Yeah. Instead, he falls in line behind Sonny Hammond. Whoa, contact with the 15 and the 17. 2 good friends right there that are going at it hard.
Rubbin's racing.
Yeah. 2 good friends out of the call wrestling community that has come over to NR, and they get into each other and almost wrecked.
Take a look at who's coming up there on that inside line as well. The 8.
And Matt McIntyre, yes, who has not had that great of a start to a season, but he's been starting to get a little momentum going to him. He had a fairly decent finish last week at Darlington, and now he's up here in the top 5. Trying to go for a potential victory here. And now here, wow, Daniel Day is now all of a sudden up here to 3rd.
He got a nice run there through the middle of 3 and 4, ran the middle groove, and was able to duck down underneath James Qualls to take away that 3rd position.
Yeah. And now here comes Face Puncher back for the lead underneath Sonny again.
You know, it's surprising me the way that that Sonny and Dorian have been able to exchange the lead and not really slip back at all, you know, with other drivers freight training them. They've been able to tuck back in line behind each other and then make a move again for the top position. I thought with that happening that we'd see Qualls maybe slip by the both of them take the lead, maybe Daniel Day, but no, those two have been able to keep it pretty much a battle amongst themselves.
Yeah. And now we got Kyle Matthews up here in the picture coming in for fourth underneath of Daniel Day.
Tell you who else is coming. That's PJ Williams. Now, he ended up having a lot of track position taken away from him when he ended up having to come to pit road a couple of cautions ago. He's now been able to work his way up here, not really even due to caution flags. He's been driving his way up here through the field, now back up in the top 10.
Yeah. And then you got Joshua Collard back here who's starting to get some momentum built for him. He came away with a second place finish even though he dominated Darlington. He ended up getting out-horsed by Dorian Facepuncher at the end, but here he is up here in the 9th spot doing really well, and it looked like James Qualls might have gotten the wall, and whoa!
Oh!
Near wreck with Washer and Collard. That could have been disastrous.
That could have, and look at how Washer had to slide up almost in front of Qualls in order to avoid a wreck happening there. That was a close near caution right there.
Yeah, as we are less than 8 laps to go, and we've gotten into a long green flag run somehow, some way. I don't know how this is happening.
Yeah, we actually have, and that's quite interesting because I don't think that all these guys are quite on the same pit sequence. They're maybe separated by about 3-4 laps, but it could come down here to who may be willing to stretch it based on what the fuel window is.
Yeah, depending on the fuel window as well. And Kyle Matthews is going in for second. He wants to get a victory badly so he can get a bigger jump in the point standings. Because remember, he comes in 42nd in points out of 43. And not the kind of season you would expect out of that 24 car, considering in the first 3 seasons of Walmart Cup competition, Chris Washer was a winning driver in that ride.
Yeah,
made the
Kyle
chase
Matthews,
all 3 seasons, too.
exactly. I mean, Kyle Matthews trying to get the 24 motor back in. Right now, it's looking good. He's going to actually get to the inside here, coming into 3. Let's see if he can counter the run Facepuncher might get here at the stripe because the caution's out, and I think Facepuncher got him by a splitter.
Yeah, he did. Imagine if that was the finish.
Man.
Well, let's see what happened. Oh, who is that upside down? That's James McLeod
Oh, my
upside
goodness.
down. McLeod goes upside down. Oh, Dylan Young has damage. Oh, Jesse Setti and Charles Jackson were involved.
This was a wreck somewhere near the rear of the field, I think.
Oh, my word. And some cars are going to elect to come in pit road to top off on fuel, but Facepuncher looks like he's going to stay out and try to keep stretching it.
This is interesting that some drivers would actually elect to come to pit road here rather than trying to maybe
Oh, wait a
clutch
minute, they
and
could have
save
been.
fuel.
Oh, they fooled us. They're not pitting.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, that's giving up an awful lot of track position here with just about, 4 laps to go, so...
Yeah. But let's, I don't know, we might be able to get back to racing with a one-lap shootout. Who knows?
I think we could.
But let's go ahead and take a look and see what brought the caution out for the 5th and potentially final time here at Phoenix. Well, another deja vu accident, similar to what we've seen most of this race. Cars racing hard off of turn 2. Contact here with Charles Jackson and James McLeod. That's going to force the 2 of them into the outside wall, and the hit that McLeod takes upside down. And Dylan Young, Joshua Balkin get into it right here. And now Jesse Setti, watch as she comes into the picture right here. Boom! Right into the driver's side.
Full speed ahead.
Right into the driver's side of McLeod.
I think Brandon Gonzalez got a tiny piece of Setti.
Yeah, from what it looked like. Now watch William Duncan.
Oh, yikes.
Jeez. You know what? I'm actually want to go on board with that and see how close it really was. On board with the damaged machine of William Duncan. This is going to be interesting from his view. So watch how close it came. Jeez.
Wow.
About a hair from what it looked like from this view.
Very close. And man, William Duncan, he was pretty much committed to that line too, so he's pretty doggone lucky that 51 was down where it was.
Well, after that last caution, we have more cars out of the race. Jesse Setti, James McLeod, Charles Jackson, and 2 laps down Trent Dunham, but I think he's still running. And we're going to have a 1 lap shootout to settle this race. And the top 10 is Face Puncher, Matthews, Day, Hammond, McCrory, Williams, Matt McIntyre, Collard, Washer, and Dutta. So this is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen as Face Puncher tries to go for his 3rd win of the season, 4th of his career. But Kyle Matthews, who's been hungry to get back to victory lane and get out of 42nd place in points. And Daniel Day looking to get his first win since season 1
Yeah,
when
and
he was active.
for the front two, the big key area for both of them is going to be turns 1 and 2. Dorian Facepuncher has to get a good restart and have a bit of a gap between himself and Kyle Matthews in turns 1 and 2. He can hold him off if he makes a move in 3 and 4 with the high side run. If Kyle Matthews does not make a move in turns 1 and 2 on the 15, I think the 15 could have this thing.
Yeah, and the 15 did get off to a very good jump.
Yep, picture perfect restart there for Dorian Facepuncher. Kyle Matthews is going to have to work very, very hard here in turns 3 and 4 in order to be able to counter the 15 if he gets a run on the high side.
Which I don't know if it's going to happen, but Sonny Hammond
No.
coming underneath for 3rd, trying to go for 3rd. Owen Matthews did get a run off there, but it's not going to be enough. Coming to the checkered flag, Dorian Facepuncher gets his 3rd win of the season, 4th of his career. He wins the Subway Fresh Fit 500 at Phoenix.
Facepuncher had a game plan coming into this right from the get-go. Went from, I think he started from the 5th position, went all the way to the front right at the very beginning. He made his pit stops when they needed to be made. He didn't have any wasted motion and just dominated when he got out to the front.
That is exactly what happened, yeah. And somehow made it through, and wow, Qualls actually looked like
Yeah,
he had
James
to come and
Qualls had
pit.
to come to pit road.
Yeah. But let's take a look and see how the results came about, shall we? Dorian Facepuncher comes away with his 3rd win of the season, 4th of his career. He's going to be going crazy in the comment section of both the Facebook page and this race. And probably going to say he banged Mitchell Riggs' mom again.
Oh.
Kyle Matthews gets his best finish of the season. He comes away with a great finish of 2nd. Would have loved to have gotten the victory he wanted, but hey, I'd say he'll still be happy with that. Daniel Day, in just his 3rd start this season, he's going to come away with a great finish of 3rd. Sonny Hammond, who was one of the dominant cars of the race along with Facepuncher, comes away with 4th. And Anthony McCrory gets a much-needed good finish of 5th. So great job for
I never
the
talked about
Kitech
that
car.
61 all day.
Yeah, and he somehow got up there and got 5th. PJ Williams gets another great run of 6th. Matt McIntyre continuing his momentum with a 7th place finish. Joshua Collard, another great momentum finish in 8th. Chris Washer gets a much needed run of 9th. And Ian Dutta's starting to kind of pick his way up in points. He comes away with 10th. And the rest of the top 20, Jecko Knight, Cole Dally, Rue McIntyre, Seth Cole, Charles Sanford, Dylan Thoreau, Jackie Tang, David Rivera, Michael Norman, Preston Plord. Rest of the top 30, Alex Hawkins, Chris Thomas, Mitchell Riggs, Joshua Michaels, Sean Galligan, Joshua Balkin, William Duncan, Dylan Young, Brandon Gonzalez, Chase Oliver, and then the final 2 that finished on the lead lap were Brandon Nichols and James Qualls, and then the car that finished 2 laps down was Trent Dunham. And then everybody else was out of the race after the cautions that came out. Jesse Setti, James McLeod, Charles Jackson, Kendall Maynor, Danny Wells, Stephen Pollard III, Jessica Sheldon, Cody Lamas, and Austin Weiner. So tough break for all of those guys. But congrats to Dorian Facepuncher, and I'd like to thank Mr. Seth Cole for stopping by the booth today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great race here at Phoenix.
Yeah, while the first half was pretty much a wreck fest, second half we saw some great racing.
Yeah,
going
just had to
on.
get through that wrecking, get all the wrecking out of those driver systems, and then they put on quite a show there at the end.
Yeah, they did, especially the 15 and the 17 during that long run where they were just going back and forth for the top spot. But
And we
then
got to see
again,
William Duncan take on Jessica Shelton for $9.99.
With that rivalry brewing, yes, it is
Yeah,
for
that'll be an
9.99.
interesting matchup and see what happens with those two next week.
Yeah, at the All-Star race, and remember with the All-Star race, anything goes, so
Yeah,
they could go at it. They
it's
could
no
throw punches.
points.
Yes, for no points and for an opportunity at a guaranteed ride for season 6. So, and also to be guaranteed in the actual race for 10 more seasons if we actually make it that far, but I'd say we will. Yeah.
Probably.
But
Spoiler alert.
but anyways, once again, thanks to Seth for stopping by. This was actually one of the best commentaries I've had in a couple races, but yeah, still, this was very fun. And also, if you want to sub this channel, his channel link's always in the description box because he's on my recommended channels list, along with some of my good friends like Simon Eichel HD, David Rivera's channel for my project, Trent DeHedgie, and Epic Mealtime, so many others that I have them in the description that I love so much. But anyways, here are your results: rookie points and regular points heading into the Coke 600 at Charlotte. But until then, we've got All Star Weekend where there's going to be 2 races in one video: the Open and the All Star race itself at Charlotte, and that should be exciting. And we can, like Seth said, we could see Sheldon and Duncan dunking out for $9.99. I
Yeah.
still can't believe you. I still can't believe you. But but anyways, this is Levi McIntyre, aka ThrashManiac99, saying, say no to drugs, say yes to listening to heavy metal.